Hello everybody and welcome out to another Dice Tower daily unboxing video. And today we're taking a look at Ares Expedition Crisis. You'll notice this actually doesn't say Terraforming Mars Ares Expedition Crisis because that would be too many colons. Too many colons is a problem, and this is the problem when you name things like something something, the expansion. So I'm all for this, just Ares Expedition Crisis. Good. Designed by Jacob Frixelius, Nick Little, Sidney Inglestein. This is an expansion, not a standalone game. Frix Games, Stronghold Games. You see this says 1 to 4 players, age 14 plus 60 minutes. This is an expansion. It comes in a large tuck box, actually. So must not be the expected, it's very thin too. So it must not be the expected storage for, they're expecting you to throw this into your base game. All right, what's going on here? Ares Expedition Crisis is a brand new game mode that uses the mechanics of the original Terraforming Mars Ares Expedition in a challenging new way. Play it solo or band together with up to 3 friends to work together to save Martian society after a catastrophic asteroid collision has taken out nearly all of your infrastructure. This explains this. Yada yada. It's dying, it's dropping in temperature, it's deoxygenating. I hate it when that happens. And freezing over oceans. There's no time to evacuate the entire global population. You must work fast. Ooh, double-sided cards, I see. Well, let's plop this open. You can see that there are cards up here, and there's some board things over there. So let's slide this sucker out. Make sure we got everything in there. Yep. So like I said, thin little tuck box. They must not be expecting you to hold on to it. So, the VP Bank Crisis Step, put detriments out. Okay, this is a cooperative mode for the game. It uses a different board here. Oh! Can you just use this always? Like, always? Oh, that's interesting. So depending on the number of oceans, it shows different levels. So that's got to be in reference to different cards. These look shorter. These tracks look shorter, so you must not be able to use it. But they certainly took feedback that these spots suck in the original when you were like, I'm also at 8 points. Anyway. Oh! This is a design, this is a redesign of this of the main board here that I've seen on like Board Game Geek. People print this out and laminate it themselves. I'm curious about this. These tracks seem way shorter. Otherwise, I would love to use that when I just play the game regularly. So there's boards, there's those punch-outs, and then there's cards and these divider tabs. These divider tabs make sense. They came with the base game, and at that point I was like, why? Why? You don't even need divider tabs with Terraforming Mars. The Ares Project one, you're just like, these are cards in your hand, and the rest of it is like the deck, basically. Yeah, corporations, I get it. So maybe I should look at the rule book here for a second. Is there a... Yeah, I'll just look at the rules here very briefly. Emergency broadcast flavor text. So this is where you play solo or cooperative. But what's different about it? So there's clearly like a disaster step of each round kind of a thing. You set up the thing differently. There's disaster tokens. You set up the board here. Awards and milestones are not used in crisis mode. Okay, so the other expansion, there are supposed to be 2 other expansions, I suppose, that came out at the same time as this, Discovery and something else, Star Trek Discovery and Star Trek Strange New Worlds, that bring back the milestones and the awards, and that's what I'm interested in. But anyway, Crisis Mode, this sounds, maybe the most unique because it's not just a port over from something from the original Terraforming Mars. So you check the metrics, resolve persistent crises, draw a new crisis, draw a card from the dummy hand, planning to resolve phases, end step. All right, so yeah, new crisis cards add challenges. Stuff goes wrong over the course of the game. Goodly. All right, I mean, not too complicated, it looks like. It looks like it's mostly in the cards, like what those effects are going to be. Different levels of difficulty, that's cool. Beginner difficulty, nice. Expert difficulty variant, maybe. Nightmare, no thanks. Moving on. So let's take a look at some of these crisis cards. Distress signal. Tharsis City, please respond. A large asteroid has touched down to the forest of the south. Damage report. Blah, blah. So I don't really... Oh, discard this card. Okay. So those look like flavor text ones that maybe don't have any real issues. But then, bam! Here we go. This is where negative things start happening, like losing temperature. Draw a card, decrease the temperature 1 step. Play a building tag to remove a counter. Interesting. Atmospheric rupture, so you start losing things, losing oceans. You get a choice between the bad things to happen. When you do this thing, it looks like you get rid of stuff from here. So you're trying to just kind of keep your planet working, keep it going. Second impact, decrease the oxygen temperature 2 steps each. Flip 2 oceans face down and discard this. Yikes. As far as I know, these aren't spoilers or anything. I don't think this is like a campaign. This is just like, hey, these are bad things that could be happening to you. So there's a lot of that stuff. Yeah. There's just a lot of bad stuff. I mean, this is like that's all of this stack of cards is. And that might be, well, there's some new corporations in here. So let's take a look at these ones. Oh, if they had cooperative focused, that'd be kind of interesting. So more of these distress cards. Nuclear meltdown. That sounds bad. Barren crater. That doesn't sound so bad. Dust clouds. Sounds kind of bad. Seismic aftershocks. Yes. Collapsing cities. That's okay. All right. So there's just like a lot of different copies of that. So you notice here that there are different action cards, and depending on the orientation of it, it depends whether it's a level 1 or 4 action, 2 or 4, 3 or 4. And then here's some more regular ones, but they've changed this up a little bit in a 2-player game, in a 3-player game. Okay. That's interesting. So it just kind of changes up the mode there, some reminder cards, turn order, and then during play effects. And then there's 4 new corpos. So let's take a look at these ones here. Burstar. You being with 46. You play these things, you pay 3 less for it. Yeah, okay, that's what that means. Use this only when playing Crisis Effect. When you play a card with a printed cost of 18 mega credits or more, remove a counter from a crisis. I bet these are all going to have some variation of that. Magna! So yeah, they start with that effect. Remove a crisis. When you do, you get money. You start with 38. Oh, and nothing else, no special effects. When you and another player each gain 2, as an action, each of you gain 2 mega credits. If you're playing solo, you gain 3. All right, fine. And Sherazan, you start with 44. Use only when playing Crisis. Action: give one card in hand to another player. They may give you a card in hand. If you're playing solo, draw 2 cards and then discard 2. So just cooperative factions and stuff. Or I imagine you could just play even with the original factions from the game. So there you go. That is a quick look here at Terraforming Mars. At Ares Expedition Crisis. Oh yeah, I forgot about this. Scan here with your transparency app. I want to know what that means. So let's. Does this do anything? Scan, 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 scan. Well, I mean, English is my language. It looks empty. It looks like it's doing nothing. So, well, it's transparent, so that didn't work. That's Terraforming Mars Crisis. I'm sorry, that's Ares Expedition Crisis. Thanks for coming out to another Dice Tower daily unboxing video. Hope you folks have yourselves a fantastic day.